For a 5-minute video, this is actually really hard to get through without threats of violence. So click the links on the channel here or subscribe so I can mailbox. Please, by all means, mail me your comic books. So the SAG Halloween rules, yes, they're serious. You're thinking, what the hell is SAG? AFRA announces Halloween outfit rules for Halloween? Like, you serious? Telling the striking actors to avoid costumes inspired by struck content. As we enter the spooky season, leadership has issued these new Halloween specific rules for the members saying forbid any costume inspired by struck content. I think that means like everything. So you are telling people what they're allowed to dress for Halloween for some reason, and that it's safer to choose costumes inspired by ghosts, zombies, and spiders. Are you out of your effing mind? Yeah, a lot of them really are. I mean, it's not just the mountains and mountains of Bolivian marching powder that these people are into. It's a lot of it is just being the hubris of being so deep in an echo chamber that they never had anyone stop them and go, wait, this idea is not gonna, like, you don't have to use swear words and say that, oh, you guys are dumb, something like that. You can go, listen, this is just not going to connect with most people who are not in a mansion doing a mountain of marching powder. Like, you probably want to let this one go. Like, nobody ever says that to them, so they keep pushing this stuff out. Anyway, so they're thinking, what the hell is SAG? It's the Writers and Actors Union. So these are the parasites that make all that anti-white propaganda to brainwash you to hate yourself and to focus all the hatred against, specifically people with green and blue eyes. And apparently they're striking because AI is starting to be able to do backgrounds and write stories. I mean, South Park predicted that too. Because the shows are such crap and the audience is so stupid that they don't know any better. And the thing is, the AI is not very good, but neither is Hollywood. So it's like Hollywood, the stories are so predictably bad that even the computer can emulate them because they're so formulaic that yes, the computer can write them. So Hollywood is the writers. This is the time to strike. You really have to strike because otherwise, yeah, AI would replace you, or it would replace a big chunk of writers where you just have one guy editing, picking and choosing, and correcting stories a little bit. But otherwise, Hollywood has to stick to this formula so tightly, and they can't deviate from it. So hey, one time, can you guys instead of making the green and blue-eyed people, the light-haired, light-eyed people, the antagonists, can you make black, Asian, Middle Eastern the antagonists? No, that's a bridge too far for Hollywood. So yeah, an AI absolutely could. It's like you just give the AI the parameters. And the thing is, the AI, if it was random, then it would randomly assign people, but it's learning from what came before it. So it's like, yeah, it's just going to be purely formulaic. And the stuff is so stupid, and the audience is so stupid that they just insert the canned laughter, and then the idiots who watch this kind of, you're really insulting. No, because I think people watching this are not listening, or not watching mainstream Hollywood. So, stress with ghosts, skeletons, and zombies, which is keeping more in tradition with Hollywood, Halloween, which I'm actually a big fan of. You're thinking, surely you're joking. They didn't issue on their website, and you go, yeah. When I first saw this on Twitter, I didn't take it seriously. My mind skipped over. I thought, there's no way this is serious. Apparently, it is serious. This is how seriously they take themselves. So you can't dress like Barbie. And unfortunately, the young girls who are looking to hoard up like Barbie, they have to hoard up like dressing like demons and lingerie and horns. Because if you're, some 20-year-old with a good body, it's just an excuse to wear underwear while you can. Halloween costumes are usually, if the chicks are just going to local bars, it's high heels, thigh highs, a white puffy tail, white panties, a white bra, and maybe some white angel wings. And that's or could be the equivalent in red and little red horns, and it's just girls in their bra and panties and thigh highs and high heels. It's like that's the whole Halloween costume. Like that's a pretty good Halloween costume. Not a whole lot's going into it, but I mean I like where you're going with this. Anyway, so this recommendation didn't go over well because it's just as stupid as it sounds, and people who were not just rolling around in Bolivian marching powder are telling them this is really, really stupid. And it also reminded me that the strike isn't over, which I kind of assumed it was. And the longer they strike, the better, because the more people that start to get away from mainstream Hollywood, and the longer it goes on, they start to watch alternatives on YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, and all these alt platforms that are popping up and just giving you kind of a different perspective on stuff. And you know, the thing is, Hollywood with the streaming platforms have made Hollywood was always bad, but before streaming platforms, holy cow! Okay, when streaming platforms used to just do movies, and then they started doing original content, it just became TV. But it seemed to be like less professional TV, or maybe even lower budgets TV. And I started to look at like the top 10 streaming TV show type of stuff, but streaming, you pay for it. And I watched a few of them. They were freaking formulaically horrible, canned laughter garbage. I mean, you'd have to be like on some, you know, box wine and benzodiazepines to think that this stuff was funny. It was just the worst of sitcoms. And I know, like, it's funny that people look back on sitcoms fondly from the 80s and 90s if you're in your 40s and on up. And you think, like, I go back and I watch some of those things to see, like, what was my perspective on them. And the only reason I enjoyed them at the time was because I was watching them with other people. You go back and watch any of those 80s, 90s sitcoms that were huge. Go back and watch Friends, and I know this is going to piss some people off if you're a Friends fan. You go back and watch that and think you watched that because you were watching it with a group of people, not because it was so good on its own. It's like it wasn't. It was crap. It was mostly crap. It was mostly formulaic crap. That one chick, the redheaded chick, she had some funny lines in Friends. But it was like if I wasn't watching it with a group of other people, I wouldn't have been watching. I wouldn't watch any TV because it's. I mean, Gilligan's Island. All right, maybe that holds up a little bit, but pretty much everything isn't. So this is absolutely absurd. And the point of the video is just to show you how out of touch these people are. They're so deep in an echo chamber. They think this matters. The longer they strike, the more people get used to finding something, anything else, alternative entertainment, reading a book, writing a book. Or, you know, hey, watching yours truly or Comicsgate or really anything other than the mainstream propaganda. So, you know, F all these people in the A and C on their T's. I hope they keep striking forever. I think it's like 2016 was a line in the Hollywood timeline. It was a bright point where things were already getting woke. 2016, Trump derangement syndrome. That took it to the next level. The 2020 BLM riots, after that, it was all over. Like, you just couldn't make anything in Hollywood. So It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That was mildly un-PC. Mildly. Like, people think it's so stunning and brave. It wasn't. It was just because everything that else around there, when it came out, 2006 or something, everything at that time was such garbage that It's Always Sunny, relatively speaking, was pretty funny compared to everything else, because there was nothing else like it that was even trying to be funny. It was just all political correct. And then after, I don't know, I think after season 9, they started to get woke, and that was the end of It's Always Sunny. It's still on the air because the people are watching it from habit. It's still making money, but it's not worth watching. And I don't think South Park has done anything post 2020 riots. So that's like 3 years of these networks, or even more years, because I think It's Always Sunny got started to get PC immediately after Trump. It's like, so all these shows are based on being politically incorrect, and they were legitimately funny. But now they're politically correct and they're no longer funny, and they're just still on the air because people are watching them out of habit, and they're making the owners millions. It's like, that's pathetic. You know, nowadays I find myself listening to Odyssey and Rumble even more than I'm listening to YouTube, because there's only so much people can talk about on YouTube without, like, if you listen to YouTube, you'll hear people constantly police their language and avoid topics, and it's like, that's not fun. What happened to YouTube? Well, I think 2015 Google bought YouTube, and that was kind of the end of YouTube. Anyway, and then in 2018 they kicked off 2016 and 2018 they kicked off all the good channels, and they went to Odyssey and Rumble and all the others. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and yes, these people are super serial. You're not allowed to dress like Barbie. That's if you're still a striking SAG member, and as opposed to just telling these people just F themselves in the air. God, they're so insufferable. They're just the George Clooney, Sean Penns of the world. They're just kind of tightly wound up into one marching powder sniffing degenerate. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all next episode. Oh, wait. Ooh. I can't really drag it out to 10 minutes. I just don't have it in me.